Hey kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today we are gonna do we're gonna do a disassembly and maintenance of this knife. This is the Benchmade Bugout. Now I've had this knife for like I think a week, maybe 2 weeks right now. Out of the box, it was kind of like gritty, it was kind of tight, it didn't do this fall shut action that you see now. What I did was I went to my toolbox and I took a T10 screw and then I just loosened it a little bit, and now it is just amazingly smooth and fall shutty, and it does this without any blade play whatsoever, so that's really impressive. I had my reservations with Benchmade's. I was worried that because of the reputation that they don't have the best quality control. I was afraid that it was not going to be well centered, it's not going to have a smooth action, it's going to be gritty. But this, now after I adjusted the pivot, it's extremely smooth. Okay, extremely smooth, and there's no blade play any direction, up, down, left, right, completely smooth. Now the centering is a little bit off, maybe like 20% in one direction. However, it is not touching any of the scales or the liners, so that's good enough for me. I don't need something to be perfectly centered. It will be nice, but it's not something that I find necessary that I need in my knife. So without further ado, let's do the disassembly. So I'm going to do a quick disassembly right now, which is just I'm going to remove this pivot and then pull out the blade. Let's see if that works. We have here a T10. It's a relatively big pivot screw. Normally you see a lot of T8s for the pivots. Move that there. Now I am going to grab a smaller bit to push out the pivot on the other side. Now this knife is already running smooth with no blade play. Hopefully with a little bit of oil it'll run even smoother. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to pull back the axis lock to reduce a bit of tension in the pivot, and hopefully there we go. That was a lot easier than my Gonzo. Alright, let's see what we have here. We have so it's going to sit in like that. Pivot on one side. We're going to put the side that contacts with the blade on top. Okay, let's push out the other guy right here. Oh crap, now I don't know which side goes on top. As you can see, it's very gunky. So there's a lot of gunk on it. Okay, which side goes on top? Yeah, this side goes on top. Now what I want to do is just start cleaning everything up. I have here a microfiber cloth. I got this from like a auto parts store. Looks fine. I use this to clean my paintball gear as well. Yeah, this is the side that's on top. And it looks like there's a lot of grease, or I don't know what this is, but it's like this black thing, like oil or whatever. I'm not sure what they put in here. Now from what I can see, after I clean all this up, it should be even smoother, which would be amazing. I'm just trying to figure out which side goes where again. This is the side that hits the pivot. This is the side that doesn't hit the pivot. Yeah, it should be the right size. If the tolerances are good, they are going to work in any direction, in any orientation. But let's just reduce that variance as much as we can. Also, from the factory, the blade comes out a little bit dirty as well. You get these kind of like dust things. I don't know what they are, but you get some dust on the blade, which we can clean off right now. Now next up, I just want to maybe clean it up on the inside a little bit. Don't really have anything I can use, so I'm just going to use this thing right here, cotton bud ear cleaner, whatever you call it. Clean up the inside. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, now I'm just gonna clean inside this little pivot well right here. As you can see, a lot of oil coming from the factory. Can this rub off? Yeah. Okay. Let me just take another one because of how dirty this thing is. clean up all up inside there. Right. Do I need to do anything over here? No, I don't. I'll just need to oil that a little bit later. Okay. Yeah. Pivot. Forgot to clean the pivot. Done. Okay. So next up comes the tricky part of any axis lock, the reassembly. Now for that, I just need to remember which side the screw was on. I believe, are these D-shaped? Yeah, these are D-shaped. Now I just need to figure out where the D is. Should come in like that. Okay. Is that in properly? Okay, so that's in. Now from what I remember, it was on that side. Yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this in piece by piece, meaning I'm going to put the pivot in first, then I'm going to put this guy in next. Try to slot the pivot into that hole, and then put this blade on. Try to slot the pivot into this hole, and then push this guy in and push the pivot through there. And then from there, it's a bunch of hoping and praying at this point. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of oil in the pivot, on the pivot, to make sure it slides in a little bit easier. A little lube is always good in pretty much any situation. Okay, that goes in there. I find the right angle. It's in. Now keeping in mind which side needs to be touching the blade, which I believe is this side as opposed to this side. Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I just need to take this guy apart again. Okay, now all I need to do now is slot it in using this toothpick right here, dental pick right here. Stick it in like so. And now that that's in, push this guy back out. Add a little bit of lube onto the washer, just like so. I say a little bit. I'm hoping there's enough there for me not to need to take it apart for the next month or so. It's not quite going through. I'm trying to figure out why. I think it's just a alignment issue. Okay. So it has gone in a little bit further, which is good. Appreciate that. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit of that formerly black oil onto the groovy scales right here, which I want to avoid. Okay. So that's almost in all the way. Now the next stage here is to put this guy in, and we don't have a lot of room to work with here. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to just add some lube straight onto the pivot now. This should help it slide in a little bit later. So put it onto the blade. Oops. Let me try that again. Okay, so that's kind of it. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can push this guy into position. And if this does not work, I have another way of doing this, but rather avoid that. Now what I need to do is make sure I do that without damaging the Cerakote. Okay, so I decided not to use this guy because this might scratch up the blade. We don't want that. So I'm going to use this guy to maybe push it into position if I know where it is. So I can kind of see where it is. There we go. Now it's coming through. I'm going to use this and just pull it a little bit. Pull it into position. Just like that. Okay. And then from here, just adjust it into its needed position. And from there, wiggle it into the right location. There we go. So that click is a good sign. It's a sign that it is in position, and all I need to do now is tighten this screw, this T8 screw, and I did all that without damaging the coating, which is something I'm happy about. Don't want to damage the coating on this knife in that way. Okay, so now it is at maximum tightness, and we will adjust it as we go along. It's not moving, completely tight. Let's loosen it up a little bit. How's it feel? Amazingly smooth, no blade play. Centering has improved. Let's see if we can improve that centering just a little bit more. Now it's again too tight. Let's back it up. No blade play. Very smooth, although it still feels a little bit tight. Release it a little bit more. Still no blade play. Even smoother. Not getting any blade play. Let's see how much more we can reduce this. Still no blade play. Still very smooth. Let's keep going. Wow, still no blade play. See how far we can take this out. It seems like no matter how much I unscrew it, seems to be no blade play. No matter how much I unscrew it, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. Shows that the tolerances are that good, that even though the pivot is not tight at all, this is completely loose. There is no blade play, which is very, very, very impressive. Love that a lot. Okay, maximum tightness, turn by about 1/8 out. No blade play. No blade play. Completely smooth. Let's just tighten it up a little bit. Nice. Very, very impressed with this knife. Check the centering. It's just the same as before. A little bit off-centered. Not too big of a deal. It is, after all, not touching the liners. Very nice. super impressed with the build quality, with the tolerance of this Benchmade Bugout. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Do check out my description down below for if you want to find out how you can support this channel. And yeah, that's all guys. Thanks and stay ready.